Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be looking at what's next in love for singles. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Selenite, along with these cards. Group 2 is the Amethyst, along with these cards. And group 3 is the Cherry Quartz, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me clearing energy in between groups and preparing for the group that I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Selenite. So I'm going to start with these cards to see what's coming in next in love for you. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, the Devil in reverse, Clover, Devotion, Go the Distance, and Community. So just real quick, in terms of signs, with the Pentacles energy, we have earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Cups is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, and the Devil is Capricorn. We are also currently in Capricorn season at the time that I'm recording this video, although this is a timeless reading, so just take these messages whenever they resonate for you. But for those of you that are watching it on or about the day when I record and release the video, this can really indicate somebody who is kind of on the peripheral, who is very immediately in your vicinity, maybe coming in very soon. With the idea of community and go the distance, this can also speak to kind of a long distance connection, maybe even somebody you meet online, somebody that you have already kind of started talking to. Maybe this is just a friendship that has been established between the two of you and things are getting ready to kind of unfold into the next level, kind of pick up momentum here. This element of choice, this can really speak to, again, kind of a large forum or a community, maybe several people that you've been dating, somebody who might also kind of have their options open. Things may have been very casual between the two of you up to this point in time, but then a decision is made to kind of further invest in this situation, or to make some kind of an offer to open the door to an exploration of deeper romantic feelings for one another, somebody that asks you out on a date, for example, or just kind of in the nature of the discussions that you are having with this Nine of Pentacles, a lot of back and forth, a lot of conversations that are exchanged over social media or maybe text texts. This can even be a work connection for some of you. So a coworker that you have had kind of a friendly relationship established with, and then this person sort of makes that decision, kind of takes that leap of faith, something they may have been thinking about for quite some time, kind of planning. The momentum has been building. Also with the idea of go the distance, somebody that you've known for a while, if this is a coworker, or again, somebody that you may know through a kind of shared or mutual community, somebody you've been talking to online for a while, kind of makes that decision, takes that leap of faith, and really sort of opens up about the desire to explore a new kind of avenue of this connection with you, to reveal some deeper feelings, or to just kind of shift the nature of the conversations that you have more into that realm of kind of outside of the surface level aspects of what have been established between you up to this point in time. Devotion really can indicate somebody who you really enjoy spending a lot of time with them. You enjoy one another's company. There can be a lot of loyalty to this. So somebody that almost has this best friend energy to them. Somebody, again, that you've kind of worked to build trust with in other ways up to this point in time, so that when the door is open to kind of exploring the romantic elements or possibility within this situation, it's something where it doesn't completely catch you off guard. This isn't starting fresh and kind of from ground zero with this person. You, in some way, it feels that you have something established between the two of you. There's trust that has been established in another way. There's a familiarity with one another in another way. This can even talk about with the idea of community, somebody who's a friend of a friend. So if they are new to you, this can be a blind date that somebody sets you up on. This can be somebody who, says, oh, you've got this person. I know this person that you should meet. This can even be a relative of a friend of yours. Somebody where there's this element of trust that is already kind of a layer within this romantic situation. So that, again, this is not just a stranger off the street. This is somebody where they kind of come with references to a certain extent, other people that can kind of vouch for them, being a reliable person, being a dependable person, being a solid and very practical choice in terms of the exploration of feelings. And this can also then, again, relate to somebody that you have sort of vetted out in terms of getting to know them in kind of a casual way up to this point in time, or again, a coworker, some sort of shared community or shared space, to where you're not just entering blindly into this situation. There's a little bit of history between the two of you. You've already covered some ground with one another before kind of things sort of evolve into that place of romance. With the Devil in reverse, this can really speak to a connection and a person that makes you feel very comfortable in their presence. This in and of itself almost though can set up kind of these alarm bells or these red flags. There may be a little bit of hesitation. Is this too good to be true? A little bit of this kind of leaning into the fear maybe of not wanting, if this is a work connection, for example, a little bit of hesitation on your part, maybe up to this point in time, very mutually experienced, to kind of unfold things to the next level out of kind of this fear and hesitation of what if things go sour? How is this going to affect kind of the structure of us having to work with each other every day, see each other in the office, for example. But it feels to be just kind of a very momentary or a fleeting, kind of a passing thought, something that you two are able internally, and even perhaps you discuss this, you're able to sort of move beyond that. But it does feel to be a factor in consideration here that, again, may have sort of led to this period of time of, even just through your own sort of personal experiences and this person's personal experiences in love and romance, really taking the time to be very kind of careful about getting to know someone, laying that foundational work, laying that groundwork, establishing a friendship first and foremost, before kind of opening one's heart. A little bit of not even just guardedness, but really having established some firm boundaries within each of you that are respected by one another. It's almost the sense of kind of this slow buildup, this gradual kind of progression, but this is not a negative thing. This is something which is actually a very positive factor in kind of the overall outcome or the greatest potential of this situation with this person and what this can develop into. Clover can really talk about these elements of luck or serendipity. So there could be a lot of deja vu experience between the two of you. There could be something about the circumstances of how you've met, maybe a very large community, and it just happens to, be almost, it feels almost like fate or destiny that out of all these kind of people, out of all, the possible situations that you could have walked into, you encountered one another in this very almost divinely kind of guided way. And it feels like something that it adds in a bit of magic to the element of this connection, but not in a way that sort of gets you off into the realm of fantasy. It's something that is really very sweet. It's very endearing. This could be somebody who likes to give just kind of little gestures of love and romance, just little things, kind of like these, these quiet little winks or like these inside jokes, these little kind of mentions, things that are special between the two of you that really let you know that they've got this very genuine intention towards you. They're very caring. They think about you. They take your feelings into consideration. They recognize you. You two may work with or collaborate with one another, even just in various ways. The things that you talk about then being kind of utilized or sort of carried over into the work that each of you does in other capacities. And really a feeling almost of the stars very much being aligned, where if you'd been dealing with a lot of people in your past or even a past romantic situation where it was almost like right person, wrong time, this person is the other side of that sort of situation or scenario. This really feels like right person, right time. Things working out very naturally, very organically, a situation where you both feel very comfortable to kind of allow things to unfold between the two of you as they will. Communication being very strong between the two of you. This can be a very direct person, a very honest person, a very trustworthy person. They may be somebody who kind of works in either a field where a lot of trust is placed within them or kind of the position they hold within their profession. There's a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. This can be somebody who is, financially solvent, financially independent, has built and kind of acquired not even just, great fortune and volumes of wealth for themselves, although that can really be represented in kind of the enduring nature of the Knight of Pentacles and also this independence of the Nine of Pentacles. But it can also just be somebody who really kind of manages their resources well, who knows how to live comfortably, yet at this, maybe modestly, not extravagantly. They're very practical. This is somebody, who thinks very much in kind of a future planning capacity. This is not somebody who's frivolous or impulsive by nature, and that really kind of ties over into the element of finances as well. This could be somebody who owns their own home, or is kind of working to achieve that goal at some point in time. They can be a business owner working to kind of move out of a particular employment situation and kind of strike out on their own. This can be somebody, I'm also hearing moonlight, so somebody who may work several different jobs, or somebody who's in a particular profession. A doctor is coming to mind, so somebody who may work in a particular clinic or hospital, but then moonlights at other kind of, almost like filling in sort of shift work at different kinds of facilities in their location. Maybe even somebody who kind of travels. Doctors Without Borders would be something that kind of would fit into this realm. So they've got their sort of 9 to 5, their ordinary profession, and then they take time out of their day or out of their life in general to really go elsewhere, to provide kind of their skills and their ability and really this generosity of nature to help other people. Not even so much where they're going to be reaping the financial benefits of that, but just as kind of these acts of goodwill. This feels to be a very genuine person, somebody who really leads from the heart space. Somebody who makes others feel very comfortable in their presence, somebody who is very knowledgeable, very trustworthy. Again, maybe something in relation to what they do professionally, or this can even just be kind of just energetically. They make people feel at ease. They may be in some kind of field where they protect. where kind of secrets or trust is involved. And this is somebody who, again, is very trustworthy. The people that they work with highly respect their opinion. Others who maybe come to them in their hour of need or in need of assistance. This can be a first responder even. This can be somebody with a military background or who is currently active duty military. Maybe they are stationed in another country or at some kind of a military base in another state from where you live. That can really account for this sort of online dynamic or kind of a remote connection for a period of time with you. But whatever it is, it's something where they take almost this sense of duty and obligation very seriously. They are entrusted with a lot of responsibility. They take their responsibilities and their job very seriously. This is not somebody who cuts corners, but somebody who is very methodical, and it ties into how almost it feels that they will be the one to sort of approach and declare their feelings and open the door to kind of things evolving to the next level between the two of you. But it's something that they've thought about very carefully. This is somebody who, if they had a tendency maybe to be very impulsive or rash in their kind of younger years or at other sort of stages of their life, they've really tempered this quality within themselves. They've outgrown this quality within themselves. They've really stepped into their own. They are in a season of their life when you are interacting with them. Maybe even somebody who you could have known them over kind of a period of time. And so you really have, you have watched this person kind of evolve and grow and really come into their own in some way. And it's this shift or this evolution that really kind of makes you very confident that despite any of these initial kind of red flags about, maybe is this too good to be true? Is the risk kind of greater than the potential reward in this situation? It's the nature of this person. It's these aspects of loyalty and dependability, this confidence that they instill, even just energetically, and again, a lot of honesty, a lot of truth telling. Somebody who really, what you see is what you get. Somebody who is very firm in kind of disclosing all aspects of themselves, and really the actions align with promises made and words spoken. It is this quality of this person that encourages you to invest in them, to accept the offer they have to give, and to move into a place of feeling very comfortable and very confident in that. Again, any sort of hesitation or reservations you may have, it feels very short-lived. It's something which is very easy to kind of move beyond, kind of this momentary sort of pause of maybe considering worst-case scenarios, or even slightly being triggered to recall situations from your romantic past where maybe you had invested in the wrong person and things hadn't really worked out. But it is something where the decision is very clear, the way forward is very clear. That kind of fog of hesitation, it dissipates very quickly as far as this person is concerned. I'm also drawn here to this kind of this balance between the sun and the moon on the devotion card. There may be something astrologically between the two of you that is very similar. You could have the same sun sign. Your charts could be very similar, or you could almost occupy these opposite polarities on the astrological wheel. So, for example, if you are a Scorpio sun, this person may be a Taurus sun, where that their sun sign is kind of 6 months out from your sun sign. So it could be some kind of a layer or an overlap in that capacity. This also feels to be somebody who is very balanced within themselves. Libra is really coming up strongly as well. And also I'm kind of being visually drawn to the Temperance card. So Sagittarius may be a significant sign, or that can really, again, timeless reading, but when I'm recording this, we are in Capricorn season. But this may have been somebody who, you started talking to maybe just recently, kind of in Sagittarius season, that it's been maybe about a month of kind of meeting them, exchanging back and forth. Maybe over the course of kind of Capricorn season, things sort of pick up in velocity and volume. You get to know them a little bit better, and then kind of opening up after sort of the first of the year, things kind of take on this new kind of range, or this new life in this situation. So it feels like somebody who's either coming in very quickly as well with this cheetah here. If you've been in sort of a drought romantically, with sort of this desert scene in the background, this person is almost like a drink of cool water. That can also really relate to somebody who is very attractive, or at least you find them very attractive. There's a lot of chemistry between the two of you. Somebody who in a lot of ways fits a lot of the requirements and helps you to really recognize kind of what was lacking, things you didn't even know were possible in relationships with people, like a person who is very in touch with their emotions, is willing to kind of talk about these things, kind of the aspects of sort of being very dependable, a very grounded individual. This may be very different from the types of individuals you were magnetizing in or partners that you were choosing in the past. So this could be something that kind of brings you out of your element in some way, helps to kind of open your heart to more of a light energy, to a lot more potential than what you had experienced. If this is something where maybe you are meeting them on a dating app, a dating website where you've gone out with kind of a lot of people, there's been a lot of options and a lot of choices and nothing has really clicked. This person feels to be kind of, it's almost like you cast a wider net, or you sort of take a chance on somebody that maybe at sort of first glance, it's nothing that's that exciting. It's nothing that's that kind of interesting to you. But as kind of you get to know this person more, you kind of step outside of that comfort zone. You find that in a lot of ways, this person, what they have to offer, these are things that you were looking for that you didn't even know prior to experiencing them, made you feel really good in terms of romantic connection with another person. That these are elements that were almost, it's kind of like the missing link or the missing ingredient, something you hadn't even been able to really discern or decipher before in your dealings with others. But what this person brings to the table, it's this level of dependability and this solid energy that makes you feel that it has been a wise investment to open up to kind of the further layers and aspects of this connection and to choose to move forward with this person. I'm also drawn to this lady playing the harp here on the community card, so music may factor in strongly in this connection. You and this person may share songs back and forth, create playlists for one another. And I'm also hearing this could even be somebody who is like a friend of a friend, somebody who is a friend of a childhood friend, because and this will definitely date me. Some of you will kind of resonate and understand what this is, but the idea of like a mixtape or burning somebody a CD, that could be something that is relevant here. So, from kind of decades past when that was the means and method of sort of sharing music with other people. And also kind of when you would date somebody, sometimes they would make you a mixtape, burn you a CD of their favorite songs, romantic songs that remind them of you, or just to kind of share one another's musical taste. So there may be a connection with that, somebody that you could have known from your kind of remote past, somebody who was kind of in a shared community, maybe somebody you went to school with, somebody you went to college with, and you kind of have all sort of moved on, you've moved into your professional lives, and you cross paths with this person again through kind of like these acts of serendipity, these happy little coincidences. And now the music that you're sharing with each other, it comes in the form of, links to a song online versus like a tangible cassette or a CD that you're actually making and giving to someone. But it's that same kind of exchange. It's almost like the evolution of this. And also in terms of just that kind of media in general, it feels that this person represents kind of this glow up for you, or this maturation in terms of the types of people that you have been used to dating, that you have been used to dealing with, what they bring to the table. It really helps the connection to unfold much more efficiently. It's something that feels to be a situation which has the potential to be very enduring between the two of you, regardless of what kind of happens romantically. It feels to be something that, it's kind of like a friendship, something long-standing, a lot of mutual respect that the two of you have for one another, that this is really a connection that in a very broad sense has all the ingredients to really withstand kind of the test of time, to evolve through the seasons. And again, this may be somebody that you go through a period of time where you've laid laid this foundation of getting to know them on a friend level or a coworker level. You explore the romance with one another. Maybe it's something where this is not your forever person, but they kind of remain a forever friend to you, a definite best friend energy here. So something that kind of changes with the seasons of your lives, somebody that may kind of ebb and flow out of your kind of existence in sort of the years and decades to come for you. So a very beautiful energy here, very grounded energy, a lot of peace in this. If you had been used to kind of chaos and uncertainty and drama in your romances of the past, this feels to be something that is very much on the other side of that. A lot of harmony between the two of you, a lot of similarity in communication style, in love language, gift giving. Again, that idea of like the mixtape or the burned CD, or, you know, sharing songs back and forth, just little kind of tokens of affection like that. Maybe something that is kind of a mutually shared and mutually resonant kind of experience for the two of you. This person may also be a musician professionally, or even just something that they are gifted at, or something that's kind of a hobby or an interest. So I'm going to get a few more zodiac signs, and this can be somewhere in their chart or your chart as kind of a confirmation, or it can relate to a time of year that is significant. And these are really small. I don't know if you'll see them, but we've got Cancer, so that can again be somewhere in their chart or your chart, or this can tie into the months of June and July. We've got Sagittarius, so that is another confirmation of that with what was coming through with the Temperance card that I was getting as kind of a download. So that is November and December. And we also have Gemini. So that can be, again, somewhere in their chart, or this is the months of May and June. So I'm going to get some attributes now. There's a little bit of everything in here. There's personality traits, more zodiac signs. There can be physical characteristics, professional things. So we'll just see what comes through. So we've got genuine, and that really does reinforce that idea of this Pentacles energy, this very grounded energy. Somebody that is definitely, you know, what you see is what you get. Somebody who is very stable and very reliable. They make their intentions known. This is a very forthright and honest person. And we've also got books. So there may be a connection with school. This person could be a writer. They could be big into journaling, writing love letters, writing love notes. They could be somebody who's kind of in the process of writing a book. It could be some shared community in that sense, like a writer's group that you join and you meet this person. And we have X. So this is possible that, again, this could be somebody from kind of your remote past, maybe even somebody you dated when you were younger, kind of like young love. It doesn't feel that there's anything very negative in this energy here. So if this could have even just been somebody you went out on a few dates with during high school or during college. Not even a major or significant sort of connection in your sort of previous romantic history. And that, again, through this idea of kind of serendipity and coincidence, you two cross paths again. So even what was coming up earlier with that idea of a situation of right person, wrong time, this can really apply to that, where the both of you have gone through kind of this maturation, your lives have shifted, you've kind of come into your own. And so when this kind of reconnection happens between the two of you, you cross paths again. It's almost like right person, right time. And we have empath. So somebody who could be very in touch with their emotions, very empathic. This to me really ties in as well with somebody who could be in the healing or healthcare profession. And we've got clever. So somebody who's very quick-witted, somebody who's a good conversationalist, somebody who really helps to kind of put people at ease and is able to sort of maneuver through different sorts of groups of people, somebody who's able to really speak to people on their level, makes people feel really at ease, very, very kind of comfortable. Somebody who's very knowledgeable, again, that kind of reference to books. This can be somebody who has spent a lot of time in school. They may have, a degree, some kind of certification that they've worked toward. They may be in the process even of working toward like a master's degree or some kind of technical degree. I know doctor was coming through. Lawyer can be another element that kind of ties into that, where there's kind of this extended period of schooling. And we've got doctor. Okay, so there we go. Another confirmation of that. And we've also got thinning hair, bald, shaved head as a physical attribute. Manifestation. So this person could be really into the law of attraction. They are a proponent of thoughts becoming things, somebody who is very goal-oriented, somebody who is very good at manifesting success for themselves, resources for themselves, somebody who, again, is able and willing to go the distance, who can see kind of long-term plans, long-term future, is not so much focused on immediate gratification, but is really concerned with, kind of investing in quality people and concerned with investing in kind of the quality of their life long term as well. And we've got studious, so that ties in with books. And again, a connection with school, with education. This person may be in school. They could also be a teacher. And we've got family. So this could be somebody who is a family friend, somebody who could even be a coworker of one of your family members. And it feels really like somebody who is part of your soul family. You may meet them at a family function. It feels that your family's really going to approve of this person. They're really going to not just like this person for you and with you, but this may even be kind of a friendship bond that develops between this individual and certain of your family members. This could even be somebody from your past who has remained friends with one or more of your family members, and that is kind of this element of coincidence that you didn't even know that this person still kept into contact with certain individuals. They've come up in conversation, they've asked about you, they've sought you out. This can also really be something where, again, that kind of best friend energy, where the bond between the two of you, it really, regardless of kind of what happens in the long-term future with you, this feels to be somebody that will remain a part of your life for the rest of your life in some degree. Even if it's just somebody that, if the romance fizzles out at some point in time between the two of you, it really feels to be something where there will be no hard feelings with one another. You'll still check in with each other, maybe a couple times a year. It will still be when you run into each other or see each other around. It will be very good-willed, very good-natured between the two of you. Got the letter I. And relaxed, so somebody who is very laid back, who helps to kind of put other people at ease. This ties in as well with kind of a healing or healthcare, a wellness sort of a vibe there. This could be somebody who's into yoga or into meditation. And we've got astrology, so that was coming through with that idea of kind of shared sun signs, charts that are very similar to one another, or even that idea of kind of being on sort of opposite and yet complementary ends of that astrological wheel from one another. This could also be somebody who is interested in astrology, open to that. They may practice divination in some way as well. Got the letter G. And we've got Scorpio. So that can be somewhere in their chart, or this can tie into the months of October and November. And we've also got outgoing, so somebody who's a very friendly person, somebody who is able to, again, put people at ease, a good conversationalist, definitely somebody who will kind of take the reins in this situation. I'm hearing take the bull by the horns, so Taurus may be another kind of significant energy here. I know we had that with the Pentacles, the Earth energy, but somebody who will kind of be the one to sort of take that initiative to turn the volume up on this situation, to reach out to you first, to kind of take the lead in this situation, go the distance, to really kind of open up to the next layer of what is possible between the two of you. They may ask you out first, be the one to really introduce themselves first, to approach first, and somebody who just kind of based on that idea of what you see is what you get, it helps to put you very much at ease as this connection unfolds and as the two of you explore the potential of what can grow and develop between the two of you. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got E, A, I, Z, M, C, V, O, P, R, S, and L. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled love letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Amethyst along with these cards, which I'll start with to get an idea about what's coming in next in love for you. Got the Sun, Four of Wands, Ten of Swords, Three of Pentacles, Coffin, Patience, No Place Like Home, and Door to Romance. So real quick, in terms of signs, with the Sun, we've got Leo. Wands is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Swords is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Pentacles is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. With the Coffin's death energy, this reminds me of Scorpio, and Patience really ties in with Temperance, so Sagittarius energy there. And so this definitely feels to be something that has all the makings of a long-term person, a forever person. This feels to be, I'm hearing, the one you've been waiting for. Somebody that is really going to outshine all other connections that you have had up to this point in time. Somebody that is going to help you to heal your heart, to open up to the idea of love and romance again. Somebody who is really going to help to take you beyond your expectations and your experiences of what love and connection and partnership can be like. This may be somebody who you have a professional connection with the Three of Pentacles. This may be somebody who you had some kind of a romantic foundation with, or a shared foundation with at some point in time. You could have very similar backgrounds, upbringing. This can even relate to kind of some shared kind of core wounds or traumas that the two of you have really had to work through in your own personal lives prior to meeting one another, or again, something to do with kind of home and upbringing. A lot that you are very much able to be cognizant of within one another because you've been through this experience yourselves. So you're able to not just hear about this person's perspective, hear about this person's story, but that this is something that you have had kind of a shared experience. You've gone through something very similar, and that in some way this bonds the two of you, not like a trauma bond, but just in terms of it's the idea with this coffin of kind of this death and rebirth, this reinvention energy, some kind of struggle, something that may have been very difficult, very arduous to kind of move through, to move beyond, to kind of come to terms with and reconcile. The point in time when the two of you have really, when you meet one another and kind of this romance develops between the two of you, the steps you have taken, the work that you've done within yourself, maybe through therapy, through counseling, through self-help, through being very mindful about kind of certain cycles within your life, breaking free from those cycles and attachments. Addiction may have been a factor as well, between, you know, the two of you, like each of you independently experienced this. That it's something, and this is also coming through, this won't resonate for everybody, but this could be something where if you've struggled with addiction, this could be somebody that you knew from kind of that period of your life, that stage of your life, that chapter of your life, who was also kind of caught up in the shackles of addiction. You two have gone your separate ways, and you are both kind of reconnecting with one another, and you have gone through that process of getting clean and sober, really kind of rebuilding yourself, redefining yourself, reimagining yourself. And so this coming together, once again, it's like a new connection. It is possible this is someone you had a romantic history with, but it feels to be just almost maybe in the realm of somebody that there was a chemistry with. There may have been some flirtation. Maybe it was somebody you went out on a few dates with, but it was nothing very serious. It didn't really get off the ground, kind of a failure to launch sort of energy, other kind of cycles and circumstances taking you both in other directions. So it's very much a new kind of romance here. Again, kind of the one that outshines all others, somebody that you've been waiting for. Maybe even somebody that you knew of, that you had feelings for, that maybe personally was struggling with addiction themselves, and you had been holding out this hope that things would change, they would kind of get their life together in some way. Again, it doesn't feel that there was any kind of a romantic connection or anything very substantial and serious. This may have just been somebody you knew through school, you knew through kind of friends, for example, somebody you knew through kind of a shared community. And it was, maybe kind of their addiction, their struggles kind of got the best of them, or it was something that they needed to kind of work on and focus on. And that now that they have kind of moved beyond that situation, they have sort of rebuilt the foundation of their life in some way. They are either seeking you out, or it's something where, you run into them, and it's this shared kind of exchange of experience of what has really changed. This element of addiction can also talk about mindsets as well, kind of issues with depression or anxiety that could have been an issue, something that maybe both of you sort of struggled with. And so you've got this shared kind of empathy for one another, for kind of the battles that you have faced, maybe even an ongoing battle that you continue to endeavor. But that at the point in time where you're really, you're opening up into this realm of romance, this level of romance with one another, you've really gotten a handle on this situation. It doesn't feel to be very kind of new in that capacity. It's something where you've rebuilt like new coping mechanisms, a new kind of foundation or structure for yourself. It's a place of kind of personal empowerment and confidence and stability that you each are in, that is very kind of far removed. It's an elevation from kind of the energy or the vibration or the circumstances you were occupying before. And it is at this point in time, this turning point in each of your lives, that almost the doors open for reconnecting with one another. Or if it's somebody entirely new to your experience, it could be almost that vibration that you have each worked very hard to cultivate and maintain within yourself, that allows you to kind of magnetize one another in. With this idea of coffin and kind of this energy of death and rebirth, this can also talk about, if this is nobody from your personal past, there could be some similarities to people that you had dealt with previously. This can be something, and this will only resonate maybe for like one or two of you or a few of you, but this person could have the same name as somebody you dated previously, and that could be, it might have been a very difficult experience. That could be kind of an obstacle or hurdle you're having to face. Sort of a rewriting of the memories, kind of a lot of healing that can take place through this process of learning to make different connotations with that name or that association. If it has been something which has been associated with kind of difficult or painful memories, this individual, it feels to be something that's very triggering, but it helps you to kind of move beyond that. Not that it makes those memories any less painful, but just the ways in which you would associate maybe hearing that name. That the first thought on your mind is not this negative situation or this difficult kind of person that you were dealing with, but that this is somebody who helps to really ease that kind of instinctual suffering. By creating new memories for you, where the first, again, thought on your mind is not this kind of what went wrong or sort of that worst case scenario that played out, but it's something that is, you're instead kind of leaning into these happier connotations with that. This astrological wheel here on the Sun card really does feel like something where the stars are aligned. Again, this idea of this is the one you've been waiting for. So it feels to be that this will turn into a very significant romance for you. A lot of healing. Again, this idea of kind of opening up to love again. If you've been kind of withdrawn into yourself, focusing on your own healing, focusing on kind of your own wellness, maybe recovering from some heartbreak or other sort of struggles within your life. This could even have to do with kind of financial struggles that you've been through, something that you've had to really reimagine, restructure. Maybe you are even currently kind of looking for other work, looking for an employment. Maybe you're in a period of being unemployed and really just feeling very stressed and very pressured in that sense, to where that's your kind of primary focus and your primary goal at this point in time is creating the stability for yourself. It really feels that, so kind of an unrelated message, but things will turn around in that capacity. You will align with something that helps to kind of bring you peace of mind and helps you to kind of have your needs met. It helps you to kind of get on back on your feet, help to kind of create and maintain some sort of stability for yourself. And that can be really kind of that mile marker, that when this kind of occurs, maybe this job search that you've been on for quite some time, you're just not finding a lot of opportunities. It's the sense of something opens up, and right around that time period, that this is kind of when this romance comes in. And for some of you, this, and again, not a lot of you, but it feels like a very specific message. This is somebody who actually gives you an opportunity. They hire you. They are the manager. They're the person who maybe kind of combs through applications or resumes, and they are the one that gives you that opportunity. They open the door for you to come in that capacity. So if this is a work connection, it can really start off like that. This is that contact person. This is that initial kind of energy that sort of pulls you in from out in the cold into this place of stability with yourself. So again, a professional connection may be very significant here to your next romantic connection. These two are very much tied with one another. This can also be somebody who you just work really well with one another. This is definitely like partnering energy. Somebody who really believes in reciprocity, who is able to give of their time, who is able to follow through on promises that they make with consistency and effort. This can be somebody who works in construction or is very handy, around the house. This can also be somebody who works in real estate or is a banker. They may own investment properties. That might be something that they are interested in doing as well, maybe fixing and flipping houses. That can be very relevant. The movie Wizard of Oz may be significant to this situation, to this connection, with that reference to no place like home. The name Dorothy might or the state of Kansas might be significant to all of this kind of situation here and how things unfold for you. But it definitely feels to be a connection which, after kind of a stormy or turbulent period where you've been kind of withdrawn within yourself, kind of working through some difficulties, coming out of a very difficult phase or cycle of your life, coming through some kind of dark night of the soul, learning to really find your balance, really find your footing again. This person is kind of that welcome change from the energy you've been in quite some time. This can also represent a very different type of partner than what you had been dealing with before. This element kind of balance here in this astrology, this can really talk about and patience here. This can talk about somebody who is a very patient person by nature, somebody who may be kind of soft-spoken, who is very observant, who listens and is very, maybe they're not very gregarious, but the words that they speak are filled with wisdom. Somebody who may work in the capacity as a counselor or a therapist, or even a reverend is coming up. So somebody who might be kind of a source of solace for others, somebody who may be very inspirational, some kind of a community leader. Somebody who, based on their own kind of personal struggles, they utilize their own story, their own kind of from rags to riches energy, or this idea of like the phoenix from the ashes. They have utilized that to inspire others. This may be something that they do professionally for a living. You two could almost be sort of in that same field. Maybe you are using your personal story, your personal struggles to create some kind of outreach, to help others, to guide others, to mentor others. This may even just be something on a volunteer basis, that's how the two of you meet, is kind of that shared interest or shared kind of organization or outreach group that you are working for. Maybe people who are struggling, low income families, for example. You may help with that, helping with housing, with resources, and even just kind of the resources of peace of mind, or again, sort of counseling or assistance. Social work can be another kind of important factor with that. But it's something to where, this person, it feels like, has been through a lot in their life, even if they are young, in terms of their age, in terms of the years that they've been incarnate as themselves on this planet. They have been through many different kind of phases or evolutions of themselves. This is somebody who is very, very much an old soul, regardless of kind of the years that they have under their belt at this point in time. Somebody who has really learned to love themselves through their struggles, through their own kind of darkness. Somebody who may, the love language for them may be kind of words of love, loving affirmations, compliments. It may be something that, with this idea of kind of patience and temperance, they almost feel inclined to kind of hold themselves back. They may have previously kind of worn their heart on their sleeve, and that kindness was kind of taken for weakness in the past. So it's something where they're a bit reserved, they're a bit guarded. It feels that the two of you really may mirror each other in that capacity, just based on kind of this energy of like a raw stage of your life that you're coming out of. Kind of this dark night of the soul, maybe some kind of spiritual journey, some kind of ascension journey. Romance might be the last thing on your mind in the particular circumstance or venue in which you meet this person, that you're a bit kind of guarded or hesitant. You may be focusing on finances and career first and foremost, some other kind of stability, becoming very comfortable with who you are. And it's not a connection that sweeps you off your feet, but it takes you very much by surprise. And it's something where there's a bit of wanting to make sure, wanting to be kind of extra cautious, kind of vet this. Again, maybe various little elements, triggers, similarities in your backstory, that there's a fear of almost trauma bonding with this person, a desire not to do that, any kind of similarities, or even somebody who has been part of your literal, your past history, not even so much in a romantic sense, but just somebody you knew from before. There's a hesitancy to kind of allow this person into the new reality that you've created for yourself, the new version of yourself that you have worked very hard to become. And it feels to be almost a shared kind of guardedness or hesitancy on their part, that it has been a struggle to kind of break through certain patterns. And so kind of a connection that might be almost occupying the realm of kind of this unspoken chemistry for a period of time, before someone kind of takes that leap of faith. It's like little bits of flirtation, or gestures that are made, kind of suggestions or innuendos, while that heart space is still very much guarded and cautious within each of you. But it is something which this is new love, and so that breakthrough does happen. And it feels to be something that through that process, having to be patient with one another, in this kind of stepping out of the comfort zone. Maybe this is the first time that either of you have dated in quite a while. This could be somebody who, is divorced, or you are divorced. And so it's this idea of wanting to wade into romance very carefully. That it's worth the wait in this sense, to kind of get everything into alignment, to get everyone feeling very comfortable, very stable, very secure in all of this. With the Four of Wands, you may be seeing the numbers 1111 a lot as kind of this prelude to somebody kind of coming in, a lot of angel numbers, a lot of synchronicity surrounding this person. Again, kind of that element of sort of a shared backstory that you have, a shared history, shared experiences, or things that are very similar, even in terms of that idea of the name of somebody that was very similar. This person could also have the name of a family member of yours, and so there's kind of, maybe this was even somebody that you're sort of estranged from or that you had difficulties with. And so again, it's this idea of kind of rewriting those memories. That can also be in a very positive way, that maybe this person has the same name as a favorite relative or a parent or a sibling of yours. And so it kind of just, it brings a smile to your face. It's just like an extension of that feeling of goodness that you feel around this person in general, that they kind of live up to that namesake. There may be something very significant about their name and what it means, what the etymology of that is, they are very much, they live in accordance with that. They are the living embodiment of whatever that kind of definition is, or whatever that kind of association is. Like if it's the name Joy, for example, with the sun here, this is a very joyous person. They bring a lot of light into the world or into the lives of people that they touch. So in that sense, as an example, that would be somebody that aligns with that kind of the associations of that name that they have been given. This may have also been somebody who changed their name. They may be somebody who goes by a middle name as opposed to a first name, or somebody who has kind of taken on another name, a different name, somebody who may have been divorced, and they've had to, since kind of change their name. It's this idea of kind of changing their image, reinventing themselves in some capacity. But it's a change for the better. It's a very positive kind of a glow up energy. And so these can be kind of some of the signifiers of how you meet this person. There's, in terms of just a little bit more specifically with timing here, it does feel like somebody that if you're not presently aware of them, which it feels, I'm really drawn to this image here with this door that kind of opens to the heart. So Valentine's Day may be very significant for you, kind of that Aquarius season. So February or, January and February may be very significant. So it could be somebody that they're kind of just right on the other side of the door, right on the other side of the kind of peripheral of your understanding at this point in time, that there's some kind of phase of personal growth that needs to occur before you and this individual will align. So it's a timeless reading. Whenever you come upon this reading, just take the messages as they resonate. But if you're watching this kind of on or around the day when I've recorded this, that Aquarius season, that Valentine's energy would be kind of roughly 2 months from now. So somebody who's a little bit off in the distance, but not so far that it's like this inaccessible point on the horizon. I'm also drawn here to this little kind of spiral in the background on this card. This can really talk about a past life connection, either maybe somebody from literally, again, your past in this lifetime, although it doesn't, if you had a romantic connection with them before, it feels to be just very casual, just something that really fizzled out, maybe due to stress or other factors in both of your lives. It wasn't able to really get off the ground. And it more than likely, again, can be kind of sort of the shared backstory that the two of you have, or again, somebody that you were with in a past life. And so some of that guardedness and kind of that leeriness can really stem from kind of the unresolved wounds from previous incarnations, that the two of you, part of this kind of one of the larger purposes of this connection. Again, this could be somebody that you end up settling down with, that you end up getting married to. This could be your forever person, but it also feels like a major sort of purpose of this romance, this kind of new love that is coming into your life, is to resolve and kind of heal some of those wounds, maybe loss, betrayal, or abandonment, kind of these fears being really triggered within you that were kind of left over from previous dealings with each other in other lifetimes. And so kind of that idea of rewriting the story, creating new memories, it applies to that as well. Things working out and having the potential to work out in a very different manner this time around, which helps you at the soul level to almost take out some of those painful soul memories, that baggage that you've brought forward into this lifetime with each of you. So some karmic elements here, but again, it feels to be almost like this unfinished business, these unresolved things within self. Maybe even just kind of this process of personal transformation, and this individual being, kind of that next significant romance for you, that first significant romance after a period of personal transformation. It kind of closes up that cycle. It closes the circle on that process of becoming that you have been in, and this connection with this individual really represents in a very substantial way moving out of kind of that liminal space of not who you were and not fully in who you are becoming. This is that first step into that direction of kind of actualizing that new identity for yourself, that new sort of vibration, kind of branching out from the work and effort you've been putting in on yourself individually. Now you're ready for that romance. Now you've raised your vibration so significantly, and you've changed your life, and you've changed your lifestyle, and you're ready to really call in and to receive a very different type of love than you have been accustomed to in the past. So I'm going to get a few more little zodiac signs. This can be somewhere in their chart or your chart, or this can really tie into the time of year that is significant for this connection. And these are pretty small, so I don't know if you can see them, but we've got Scorpio, so that can be in their chart, your chart, or relate to the months of October and November. We've got Leo, which is July and August. Virgo, which is August and September. And Aquarius, so another confirmation of that was coming through with that Valentine's energy. So January and February. Okay, I'm going to get some of these attribute cards, and there's a little bit of everything in here. There's personality traits, physical characteristics. There can be professional, things that they do for a living. There's initials, just a little bit of everything. And we've got love language. So a lot of flirtation that could be happening with the two of you. It could start off where, again, some kind of a you're very hesitant, each of you, to sort of take a leap of faith in the direction of this connection. So there's a lot of suggestions, kind of a slow buildup kind of energy. Two people who are very much maybe at points in time have worn their hearts on their sleeve, and it has kind of been taken advantage of by others. Other people were careless with each of your hearts. So you've learned to really kind of close off or constrict that aspect of yourself. But there's a sense of, within this connection, you become comfortable once again to allow kind of the fullness of that nature to be expressed. It's something that each of you really responds to as well. Your very unique kind of way of expressing. You may have a very similar love language. And we've got direct. So this really ties in with somebody who may be very observant, very kind of a person of few words, and yet what they say, it really, it's to the point, it's meaningful. There's a lot of wisdom to that. It's very thoughtful. And we've got muscular as a body type. So somebody who may be into fitness, maybe into working out. This may be kind of the requirement of their profession in some way. They may have a very kind of physically challenging job, or this can even tie in with this idea of construction that they do for a living, or maybe even just something they do on the side. This idea of fixing and flipping houses. This can be a very much like a DIY, a do-it-yourself kind of person. There's somebody who is not above kind of getting in there, doing what needs to be done, kind of very physically challenging work as well. Their day, the work that they are doing, it may be very labor intensive, and it's something where, at the end of that work day, they're coming home very exhausted. This can also really lead into that idea of, needing kind of that quiet time, being kind of an observant person. They need a lot of time to sort of recharge because their job is so physically strenuous as well. So rest and relaxation can be very important to this person. And we've got same age, so somebody who is a contemporary of yours, and that can really tie into somebody who is from your own kind of personal history in some manner, somebody you grew up with, somebody who is kind of in the same age range as you. And we've got free-spirited, so somebody who, no matter what they are doing at this point in their life, this is somebody who dreams big, somebody who is very much a go-with-the-flow kind of person, somebody who really embodies that energy of change in general. Almost fixed on the idea of change. They may at one point in time have been almost kind of bound to certain ideas or certain ways of being, kind of had very rigid, a very rigid thinking, very rigid life, a very regimented schedule, even just with that idea of addiction, really being tied to that, really being, subject to that. And there's this element of kind of liberation here, that they have changed their life in a substantial way. They have freed themselves from a lot of these things. They have stepped also as well onto some kind of a spiritual path. Spirituality or even religion may have really been a salvation for this person in a lot of ways, in conjunction with kind of aligning with their purpose, aligning with this place of inner peace within themselves, or even some struggles that they had really been challenged with overcoming. And we have veterinarian, so they could be a practicing veterinarian. They might be in school for that. There could be a connection with animals. They might work with animals, volunteer with animals, or even just be in kind of the medical profession. This could be kind of a dream they have. Maybe even, having a large family that perhaps consists of human children, but then also kind of fur babies, lots of them. They may already have kind of like a pack of dogs living with them, or sort of a house full of cats, or birds, or I'm also hearing tropical fish might be a factor for them as well. And we've got morning person, so somebody who's an early riser. This can also be somebody who works kind of like a swing or even a graveyard shift with the coffin here. And we've got writer. So this can tie in with love language, and this idea of flirtation, maybe flirtatious texts back and forth, DMs on social media, somebody who's into writing little love notes, writing little love letters, somebody who, through their personal story, they may be in the process of writing a book, sharing that experience, sharing that struggle, and that it's really been an inspiration to others. This can also be something where they work a day job, maybe they work in construction, for example. They do what they need to do, a very hard worker, in order to kind of pay the bills. And then on the other side of that, kind of after they come home, they've got this other kind of project or endeavor that they are working on, a desire to kind of create something that is lasting, something by way of a legacy, to really kind of take their own sort of personal struggles and experiences and do something with that to help and inspire others. And we've got gifts. So gifts may be an important part of their love language, somebody who kind of gives flowers, little trinkets, little tokens. They come with offerings of chocolate and sweets and little goodies that they bring you when they come and see you. Somebody who may be very gifted, a gifted writer. They may have psychic gifts as well. Somebody who may be very talented in terms of arts or something to do with crafts, a craftsmanship. Something to do also as well with kind of the idea of sort of fixing and flipping houses. This can even relate to recognizing human potential, and somebody who might really help to inspire others to kind of reach for the fullness of their own light. Somebody who really inspires people and gets a lot of sort of personal satisfaction and personal rewards out of helping people to overcome their own limitations, their own struggles. Somebody who, based on some of these gifts, this might be artistic gifts, musical gifts, a gift with words. They inspire, they motivate people. They may teach others as well. This could even just be something that they do on kind of a volunteer basis, working with kind of gifted students, taking on kind of apprentices in some way as well. Maybe they do this professionally, do it on the side, or do it as a hobby, not really keeping those gifts for themselves, but wanting to share that out with others. And we've got talkative. So this can tie into that idea of writer, words that they are wanting to share, words of wisdom. This can be somebody who is a motivational speaker, somebody who devotes a lot of time to volunteering, to helping others, maybe a particular cause or again, a struggle that they have been through. They have a lot to say about that, but these are words of wisdom. Somebody who, again, very observant, but when they speak, these words have impact, they have meaning. And we have X. So this does tie in with the idea of somebody from your past, somebody who you have kind of a shared history with, or a very similar backstory to one another. This may even in certain circumstances be somebody that you went out on a few dates with at one point in time. Things just didn't work, personal struggles, personal aspects of each of your journeys that you needed to go on in order to kind of learn and grow and develop before sort of the time was right, before the stars aligned for the two of you to come back together. Got the letter I. Clerk. So this can be something that they do for a living. They work in a shop. Maybe they own a shop. I'm hearing a body shop. So they could be a mechanic. They could be good at kind of restoring cars, fixing cars, working on cars. They may work with merchandise in some way, or even kind of a clerk, maybe in a clothing store selling. I don't know if people really buy cloaks in stores anymore, but something to do with kind of like high fashion or attire. Something where maybe they even kind of work for an online store. They have something that they create, that they sell, and I'm hearing screen printing. So maybe this person makes t-shirts for something and kind of does that for a business, sells those on the side, or that could be kind of their primary employment at this point, something that they're really working to kind of get off the ground as well. And we've got soulmate. So this can tie in with that element of a past life connection between the two of you. You're definitely kindred spirits with one another, a lot of shared history, a lot of kind of shared wounding, and at the same time things that you've incarnated into this lifetime to really kind of work through with one another. This can definitely, with this idea of soulmate, really tie in with kind of that Four of Wands. This could be somebody who, becomes your forever person. This romance can definitely evolve into something that is very stable, very long lasting, that helps the two of you to feel very secure, very seen, and very loved. And we've got light worker. So they may resonate as a light worker. This ties in as well with the idea of kind of helping others to step into their gifts in some way, to reach their greatest potential, to move beyond personal struggles, and to kind of maintain this air and energy of victory and triumph. And we've got country. So somebody who may live in kind of a rural area, maybe they have goals and aspirations of kind of moving out to the country someday, having kind of a sustainable life, maybe like a homestead, interested in kind of growing their own food, living very organically, living off the land. This can tie in with even muscular, something that they are currently endeavoring to do, maybe building themselves a house somewhere, starting from the ground up, doing it all themselves. A lot of time that they spend in the outdoors, maybe even hunting or fishing or hiking, nature being very much a source of grounding and kind of soothing for this person. Maybe dreams as well with the veterinarian and country of kind of raising animals, for different kinds of purposes and kind of products. It's feeling like something that would almost be, and I'm hearing llamas and goats, so maybe that has to do something with kind of like milk and cheese and wool in some capacity, but it feels to be something in that, just a very kind of organic energy with this. Country can also talk about somebody who lives at a distance from you. Maybe they live in a different country. Or this can be somebody who has kind of spent a lot of their time. They've gone on some kind of personal pilgrimage, maybe even a religious pilgrimage to a different country. Maybe going on some kind of mission or missionary work may have been a significant theme for them. It may have been very transformative from them. They may have had to go to another country to kind of seek medical services, seek help or counseling, or even just kind of to find their spiritual center. Travel could be a very significant part of this connection. You may meet them while abroad or kind of have that shared experience of kind of pilgrimage and journeying. And we've got angular face for a physical attribute. So somebody with a very kind of pronounced jawline, very maybe high or defined cheekbones. And we've got curvy. So it's actually kind of, a contradiction maybe to muscular. I guess you could be curvy and muscular, but maybe even this can tie into some kind of a personal body transformation that they have gone through, that they have taken their health and wellness very seriously. Maybe the last time you saw this person, they were kind of curvy, they were maybe kind of chubby, they had a few extra pounds, and they have changed something about their lifestyle, and sort of when you see them again, they've gone through not just this kind of energetic or spiritual glow up, but it's like a physical glow up, a physical transformation as well. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be first, middle, or last name for you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got S, W, C, P, Q, B, L, T, K, and E. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled love letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the cherry quartz, along with these cards, which I'll start with to get an idea about what's coming in next in love for you. Got the Eight of Swords, the Hermit in reverse, the Tower, Death in reverse, Flowers, Choice, By the Book, and Angel of Balance. So real quick in terms of signs, with the Swords energy, we've got Air, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The Hermit is Virgo, the Tower is Aries, Death is Scorpio, and then also with Angel of Balance, I'm drawn to Libra energy as well as Leo energy. And with this card Choice, I was hearing out with the old and in with the new. So this really feels that you may have multiple kind of people coming towards you, a choice between someone from your past returning and somebody new. It's kind of like this crossroads point, two people who are really vying for your attention, vying for your affection. And it's something where both of these people, even if it's somebody from the past, this person has undergone some kind of major transformation. You may have given this person ultimatums and they have fulfilled a lot of these things. They are coming back in a changed energy, but that there is also somebody else who really stirs your heart, who kind of promises you and demonstrates to you and really represents the evolution in a certain manner. There's a freshness to this. A very enticing factor of this kind of other choice is the fact that there is not that shared history, as much as this other person from the past may be returning with the willingness and ability to kind of rewrite the past, balance things out between the two of you. There is still this idea of that elephant that would always be in the room, that whatever has happened between the two of you in the past, it's been something major, it's been something maybe long-term, something that has been very difficult to kind of deal with, something where you might be open to forgiveness, but yet at the same time there's a sense that it would always kind of be at the back of your mind, but somebody then that you have, you know, very intense, very deep feelings for, so it's very compelling. This may be somebody you have children with, you have a family with, you had been kind of gearing towards that, had looked at that person as your forever person, and that there is, you know, again with this idea of hermit, so somebody who might, in reverse, who might have kind of distanced himself, who had been kind of in a no contact situation, had been kind of removed from your life, reemerges back in, or tries to kind of knock on that door. Maybe very shockingly they come back in again, this kind of changed energy, this fresh energy. And it's very, almost the element of choice, it feels to be very ironic to you. Something to where it's almost like because you've opened your heart space to this other person, this very fresh energy where this is not, you know, something that has ended, something that went very badly, but it's something that is a very fresh energy. It is a very new energy. There again is, it feels that there might even be elements with these elephants, which are kind of, you know, they speak about sort of memory and this long-term energy and this very kind of wise and gradual progression. Both of these individuals you may have kind of past life connections with. There's a sense of familiarity, there's a sense of deja vu, maybe even a lot of similarities in what happens with these two individuals in terms of the intensity of what you are feeling, maybe a lot of signs and synchronicities. You may find yourself kind of with the Eight of Swords sort of trapped and really questioning who's the real McCoy. McCoy may even be kind of a last name that is significant in this situation. A question about which is the right choice to make, who's the right soulmate, what path is best for me. And again, kind of this can even be a situation if you resonate maybe as a twin flame and you've been in separation from that twin flame. You are then in alignment with the high-level soulmate, and then the twin pops back up. Almost like the sense of you've opened your heart and moved on, and this other person kind of resurfaces from the past, but in a changed energy. They're coming back wiser. They're coming back certain. They're ready to offer you what was kind of lacking before. And so really kind of pivoted and pulled between these two sort of options, who to go with, this thing that you had wanted for so long, that you'd kind of been holding out hope for so long. You've made efforts to detach, to move forward. You've opened your heart to something else, to someone else. Someone else has kind of sparked your interest, has really caught your attention. And then here comes this other person, and it's sort of like which to do. And both of these individuals, it feels, try very hard to garner your attention. It's almost, it doesn't feel that there's conflict between the two of them. They are very much energetically aware of one another. Whether they are aware of one another in a 3D sense, that will be different for each of you. This may even be something where it could spark or motivate this person from the past to kind of emerge out of that silence, emerge out of that shadow, because they do become aware of this new presence, this new person that you are spending time with, that you are, exchanging energy with, that things seem to be developing between you and this individual, and it really kind of it fills this other individual with a sense of urgency that they need to act, because that window of opportunity is closing. You're getting ready to move on into kind of a new stage, a new phase of your life, of your existence, of your kind of romantic sort of experience in this lifetime, and that they will be kind of left without options then at that point in time. So a choice is made to kind of break that silence. The idea of flowers can talk about, almost like an extravagance of demonstration, little gifts. It feels like kind of some competition that exists between these two energies, to kind of prove to you, trying to be very genuine, but almost trying to outdo one another in a way, which that could play out in a very interesting manner if they are only energetically aware of one another, kind of how that unfolds. But it's almost like it's this idea of, here's this person with this giant rose that they present, and then this other person shows up with a bouquet. And it's that kind of a thing where these gestures and, kind of, again, these efforts and attempts to kind of compete and outdo one another, prove that they are the best choice for you, that it's something that feels very ironic to you. It's something that you definitely, it's a plot twist that you didn't see coming. It's something that really kind of shakes your foundation and almost kind of backs you into a corner. A major kind of pivot with all four of these, or I'm sorry, not this one, these three cards right here being major arcana cards. I mean, it's the decision that you make. It really does represent a major closing of one chapter and an opening of another. Either direction that you choose, either one of these people that you choose to invest in, it's almost that it opens up a new horizon for you. This is a very significant experience here for you, in terms of just this element of kind of like two people. And I'm hearing it's a song from the 90s by a group called Spin Doctors, and it's called Two Princes, and I will link that in the description box of this video, so that can be kind of relevant to the situation of sort of like these two suitors, these two kind of main energies that are coming forth, that are kind of emerging at your in your life at this particular point in time. So a very sort of interesting turn of events, especially if you had kind of just been going through the motions, this idea of maybe kind of a drought in your romantic life, maybe historically or even sort of recently, and then all of a sudden there's not just one, but there's two very significant sort of choices or options that are presented to you. And again, one is a very fresh energy that you do not have a shared history with. The other person, it feels, is somebody from your past who kind of pops back up. The idea with the Hermit here, there might even be kind of an age difference between you and all of these individuals in some capacity. Or this can even be something where, with this idea of kind of emerging out of that cave, out of that kind of period of being sequestered. This can be somebody, the person from the past who comes back. You have not seen them in quite some time. A lot has changed, a lot has developed. They are demonstrating that they have taken your ultimatum seriously. They have done the work, they have done this evolution, they have done this growth, and yet something within you has been stirred by this other individual to where this is an actual, real kind of difficult choice to make here. An uncertainty about kind of which option to choose. It may fill you with a lot of anxiety, a sense that no matter which kind of direction you move in, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to, feel very much left out. A lot of pressure that may exist here as well. Kind of this balance between being very flattered by this experience and feeling very pressured, very aware that the decision you make determines a lot in terms of the future for yourself, wanting to make sure that you make that right decision, trying to kind of take that time to sort of weigh options very carefully, that it's very difficult to kind of decipher and to discern the best way forward. It may almost be something where you very kind of impulsively have to just take a leap of faith and make that decision. Again, either choice that you make, it leads to a very different future for yourself. There's a sense here that neither choice is right or wrong, but there is a gravity associated with both of them. That new horizons open up, certain other doors close, and in a very kind of permanent sense for you and for whoever that other individual is in this particular lifetime. That this is something that in either kind of sense, the foundation, the way that you've been moving along in your life, that this is a very significant kind of experience here. It represents a very different aspect or dimension of your romantic life in this lifetime. Both of these individuals, it feels, have a lot of staying power to them. There's a lot of long-term potential here. Both of these people you could quite possibly end up settling down with, marrying, starting a family, blending a family, or even kind of mending a family unit if this is somebody that you had had children with in the past or had been kind of moving toward that. And it's a sense of permanence to that once this decision is made, there's no kind of going back from that. And it's a very different kind of outcome. Again, neither being right or wrong, just very different kind of what is being offered by each of these individuals, who you are within each of these circumstances, kind of the level of the unknown and the unexpected versus what feels familiar and resonates with you and what you'll experience. It's different in each of these kind of circumstances. Both of these being very spiritual connection, very high level soulmates. Again, if you resonate as a twin flame, this can be a twin flame and a high level soulmate that sort of comes back in very unexpectedly. It feels that both of these people in their own way and in their own unique time sort of pop up into your world very unexpectedly. And it's almost like, even if it was just kind of a benign sort of situation with this other kind of newer energy, what unfolds between the two of you, kind of what is sparked energetically between the two of you and within each of you, it's very unexpected. It's something that, again, really has made you start to question, like, who's who and what's what. Things you thought that you knew, that you thought you had kind of a handle on as far as your spiritual journey, as far as, kind of what you were looking for in a partner, or even kind of an energetic or a dynamic between you and somebody else. You've really called that into question. It really helps you to kind of move beyond labels, move beyond definitions in that sense, and to kind of almost dig deeper into this layer of your own personal ascension journey by really needing to decipher energetically what is the best choice, not who fits this label, what is this history with this person, kind of what is this sort of goalpost that you are working toward. This is something that really kind of invites you within. It's the, kind of this, it's an energy of kind of an ultimate test here, that what you have been working on within yourself, what you've been cultivating within yourself, you're now at this place of decision. How are you going to really apply and exchange and express and experience these energies in a romantic partnership for another? That this connection really signals, a time of almost graduating out of a certain kind of stage within your own sort of spiritual development, within your own sort of life in general. Again, a lot of long-term potential with this, with both of these people, both of them having the qualities of a lot of past life energy. You've known one another before in many different lifetimes. It almost feels that the three of you have been kind of entangled or embroiled in sort of this energetic kind of web with one another across time and space. This is maybe not the first time that these two have been competitors for your attention. Kind of the prize being your heart, being that place by your side. And so a very interesting, it looks like, kind of new love, next in love that is on the horizon. This is something big. This is a major change. This is a major chapter. This is a major decision that needs to be made, something that, you may feel so overwhelmed with that you end up taking time and kind of backing away from both of these choices, which may catch both of them off guard, but both of them very much surprised by this. But it also represents kind of that evolution within yourself of not wanting to move too impulsively in any direction, wanting to make sure that the choice you make is well thought out, that it's the best choice for you, it's the best choice kind of in the long term, taking into account what you've experienced, what you've been through, who you've kind of grown and evolved into, versus kind of where you want to move in the future. And from that stance, from that energy, choosing accordingly among these two kind of suitors. So in terms of when these people will sort of emerge into your world, it feels that they come in very close in proximity to one another, and it may be something where kind of that newer person, you almost sort of meet them, something develops, something builds between the two of you, and when it's getting ready to almost take off into this next level, this other person sort of comes back in, and so you find yourself at that kind of crossroads point of being ready to kind of open up to new facets and experiences of love in general, but then having these two kind of roads and paths, like which one will you choose? How will that love story unfold for you? And it's something where, it comes in very suddenly, very unexpectedly. One of these people, or even really ultimately this type of love, even the dynamic of kind of the idea of two people really vying for your attention, vying to be that kind of that one for you, the one by your side. It feels very fairy tale, very romance, very kind of storybook. It's kind of like the setting of a lot of rom-coms almost, where you're going to wonder, like, is this really happening? Is this really my life? This may be outside of the circumstances of what you've been used to experiencing in love and from partnerships and, even from prospective partners in your past. And so, again, a lot of irony with all of this, a lot of serendipity and synchronicity with all of this. It feels like something that all of this... And again, this element of surprise, it feels that all of this will take place at some point over this next year. That it's a timeless reading, so whenever you're kind of watching this, just take it as it resonates for you. But at the time I'm recording this, and so if you're watching like on or around the day that I record it, which is December 28th of 2022, we are right on that threshold of stepping into 2023. So this feels to be kind of this story, this narrative, this adventure is really the best word to describe this for you, that will be unfolding in the year of 2023. And based on kind of the significance of this energy, it feels like something that you will want to be surprised. You will need to just allow this to kind of develop organically. All of this will kind of pop up when you least expect it. And it's something that over that course for the better part of 2023, that's when this whole kind of situation will develop and will unfold. Momentum starts to build with kind of a new person, somebody you've even, met recently, somebody you even kind of know right now, that things kind of evolve and they get to that point, and then this other person comes in. And then there's this competitive energy that goes on for a period of time, and then you are finally at that place of needing to make that decision, which way to go, who to choose, what's the best route forward, and then kind of that future unfolds from there. So something that is very kind of near in proximity, and yet at the same time this is a very kind of a vast energy, because it's a very important pivot, it's a very important change. It's something with this tower which shakes up everything. It affects more than just kind of the immediate future for you. This is something which has very long-term implications. This has been something that has been in the works for a very long time. Through the struggles of each of these individuals involved in this situation individually within yourself, the dynamic between you and the person from the past, that it's kind of like all of the circumstances had to align, all of the stars had to align, balance needed to occur, certain things needed to close out, other things needed to open up. That this is that point of divine timing that we always hear about and we're always told to wait for. This is that unfolding of that. So this is big energy. This can be something where there's a lot of anticipation with this, a lot of excitement, and also a lot of overwhelm that is involved in this next kind of chapter in your personal love story. So I'm going to get some more zodiac tiles, and this can be somewhere in your chart, in either of these people's chart, or this can even relate to the time of year that is significant to this situation. And we've got Pisces, which again, somewhere in the chart, or this can relate to the months of February and March. Got Taurus, which is April and May. And we've got Virgo, which is August and September, and Aquarius, which is January and February. So I'm going to get some attributes now. And there's a little bit of everything in here. There's personality traits, physical characteristics. There can be things that people do professionally. Okay, and we've got children. So this can again tie in with kind of these baby elephants here on the by the book card, that this could be somebody you were married to at one point in time, you had children with. This person themselves can have children. A lot of inner child healing that is occurring through kind of this whole big scenario that is needing to unfold, that a lot of this has been contingent on some inner child healing that all the people in this kind of situation have had to kind of work through. It's this element of convergence within all of you energetically, a lot that's kind of been sort of brought forth to come to this place of maturation. Children can also tie in for me, and I don't think I mentioned this, but with the Hermit in reverse, that one of these people can actually, there can be an age difference. So I think I mentioned that like somebody's older, but it's worth pointing out that somebody could be younger. Some of these individuals may be kind of a younger soul in general, just have a very kind of childlike view of the world, kind of a beginner's mind, a curiosity. There's this idea of almost starting fresh, starting from scratch. This is bringing to mind the idea of Six of Cups, so kind of this energy of nostalgia, again, that reconciliation, but then it's also got this other kind of element or fold within it, of kind of that person who's the fresh energy. You don't have the romantic history with them. You don't have all the complications and kind of the back and forth that has occurred with this other individual. So that being kind of the element of choice here, the reconciliation or the fresh start. And we've got heart chakra activation. So this can really be something which prompts kind of the return of the runner, if that is applicable in this circumstance, in the situation. This can be something where you've even experienced that with this other person, this kind of fresh and new energy, which adds into that element of being very caught off guard and kind of like, what's the meaning of this? What is kind of the deeper implications of this very spiritually based connection that this whole dynamic what flows with each of these individuals. It's very spiritually based. It's something where you're going to need to really follow your heart, really look within, maybe a need to kind of withdraw and sort of process this whole situation from as much of an unbiased and kind of a removed stance as possible in order to move in the direction, not the direction that kind of looks best to the ego, or the direction that looks best kind of based on hopes you may have been holding on to at one point in time, but what really resonates, who really resonates, what direction really resonates for you at the heart level. And we've also got friend of a friend. So this can tie into how you meet this person. Again, this idea of friend of a friend, kind of these two energies that are involved here. So there can be kind of a shared connection to a community in some way, somebody you meet through others, somebody from the past who hears about you through friends. This kind of friend of a friend can tie into social media, being a big kind of component of all of this as well. And we've also got Virgo, so another confirmation of that as a significant kind of zodiac sign, or the months of August and September. And we've got sports, so there's that competition element right there. Two people kind of vying for your attention, vying for your heart. One or both of these people could be an athlete. Maybe they're a professional athlete. They played sports in school. They may have even had a sports injury that kind of halted their career in some way. This could be somebody, or people rather, who are very athletic, very into fitness and personal health and well-being. And we've also got retreat. So again, this idea of maybe a runner coming back around in addition to somebody else, you needing to kind of retreat, pull back from the situation. There's even a possibility that you decline both of these offers and choose to kind of move in the direction of something a little less complicated. That can kind of be how this story unfolds as well. You may meet one of these people, or kind of reconnect even with one of these people in some way at a retreat, some kind of a meditation retreat, something to do with spirituality. This can really indicate people who are kind of all of you on sort of a spiritual path in some way, that you really have stepped into your higher purpose, you've stepped into your higher calling, you're kind of it's all of these roads sort of converging in a very different manner than you have been accustomed to kind of experiencing the dynamic of love and partnership up to this point. And we've also got synchronicity. So that was definitely coming through with this element of a lot of signs, a lot of activations, a very otherworldly aspect to both of these individuals and their kind of relationship with you. A lot of deja vu that could be going on, seeing these people's names. And again, just this sense with the Eight of Swords of really being kind of stuck and not sure kind of what signs, how to interpret them, what's the right way, what's the right path. And all of this really kind of leads into this overarching message of neither choice is wrong. They are just very different. And we've got grounded. So, a very kind of grounded connection that can evolve out of what's coming in next in love, kind of a forever energy here. Something that, for either kind of choice or either sort of person, this is the ability and the opportunity to kind of ground that fantasy here into the reality. This can also speak about two individuals coming towards you who are very grounded within themselves, who have really taken the time to evolve, to step into their own. They may be a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little more kind of worldly in their experiences. They're kind of through with the games. They've evolved into a place of being very serious about what it is that they want moving forward. And so they are coming to you in this very reliable energy, which I feel makes that choice even harder, kind of which one to go for, because they both have something very substantial to offer. And we've got average height as a body type. Long face as another kind of physical attribute. Math. So somebody, or maybe both of these people, could be very kind of mathematically minded. This really ties into the element of choice, kind of weighing the pros and cons of this situation. Somebody could be a teacher, an instructor, somebody who's very kind of intelligent, very logically based. You may be trying to kind of look at this situation in terms of logic, what makes practical sense, kind of what is the greatest risk versus kind of the greatest reward. And we've got local, so somebody who may live near you. You may run into them kind of in the town in which you live, the city in which you live. If distance was a factor at one point in time, it feels that that is mitigated in this circumstance. It could be that one person is at a distance, the other is local, and that you're kind of, you're in between worlds in that sense. This could be somebody that, you know, is traveling to meet you, or where travel is required for you to kind of come to their location. This could be somebody that grew up in the same town as you, and again, somebody kind of from your past, somebody that you had dealt with previously. And we've got gifts, so that is tying into that idea of the flowers here. Gift giving from both of these individuals, it feels like. Also people who are very psychically gifted, who have spiritual gifts, who have cultivated these things, who have really worked on their love language, their romantic expression, who have really stepped into, again, their authenticity. As much as there's a choice here, it feels, again, these are both very viable options. Both of these individuals have a lot to offer, just in their own kind of unique way. And we've got airplanes, so that really is tying into that idea of local versus kind of somebody who's at a distance, somebody who may be very accessible, and the other person you'd have to get on a plane to see them. Somebody, or even both people, could be a pilot. There could be a military connection, maybe the Air Force, for example. This also, to me, really ties into kind of lucid dreaming, astral travel, even telepathy. A lot of this kind of higher level spiritual energy being really involved in this whole kind of situation here with these two individuals. And we've got wavy hair as a physical attribute. Frugal. So two people who are very, kind of spendthrifts. They are very good with their money. They are, again, very grounded, very practical people. There may be kind of this urge to almost, kind of sensing or being literally aware of the presence of one another. There's this urge to almost fight for this connection, and yet at the same time to hold a little bit back, to kind of not wanting to get hurt, a certainty and an awareness that each of these individuals has, that a choice may need to be made, and that, to kind of overgive or overpour, to put too much investment into this situation can kind of result in somebody being at a loss or somebody being hurt. This can really also tie into the idea of you maybe needing to be very frugal, very limited in how you invest, being very practical about this frugal and this mathematic energy, kind of this logical energy here, not letting impulsivity kind of be that deciding factor, but a need to kind of step back, to be not even cautious, but just utilize discernment in a wide kind of way, taking in a lot of kind of factors into this. This is not an overnight decision. There's a huge gravity to this, and it's something, that you may very much feel inclined to kind of weigh matters carefully, take your time, kind of take inventory of this situation, and not reach a decision about which way to go immediately. It could be something that you really take time to kind of feel each of these individuals out, to really kind of suss out what each of them has to offer and what that potential future looks like. And we've got creativity, so people who could be writers, artists, musicians in some way. They utilize their kind of creative energy, their life force energy, to, again, kind of find interesting ways to vie for your attention, vie for your heart. People who may, work in kind of a creative profession. Creativity it's a part of their nature. It's a part of their purpose. something that they have really stepped into, something that is really a good kind of blend and balance for aspects and elements of you as well. And we've also got black hair as a physical attribute. Picnic. So this can tie in with also all these flowers here, nature. It's very organic energy, this kind of outdoor energy, allowing things to develop very naturally. Again, this idea of taking kind of time to get all the information, to get all the facts. Food could be very important to this connection. One or both of these people could be very good in the kitchen. They may work in a restaurant. They may be a chef or a cook. Organic food, vegetarian or vegan lifestyle might be a factor in this, or an element in this, or kind of a point of connection. And it's this idea with picnic also of kind of this idea of a potluck, all these different kind of ingredients and things being brought together in order to create this kind of space of harmony between two people, or within kind of that setting, for example. And so it's almost this idea of needing to spend time with each of these people separately to kind of weigh all this, to evaluate this, to create just that right kind of formula and that right decision for yourself about who's kind of the best fit, who nourishes you, not just in terms of like ego needs and kind of those desires, but who really feeds you on a soul level. And it feels that both of these people have something very substantial to offer in that capacity. And it may be something where you're needing to kind of take that time to really savor, really enjoy this experience as well. It feels that in a lot of ways, this can really help to kind of bring some balance to yourself in terms of how you feel seen and desired by others. Kind of this effort and this element of romance here, that it may be something that you really need. You will get a lot of nourishment out of this experience. So really an exercise to move into receptivity, allowing yourself to kind of receive this attention, receive this flattery, receive this romance. And we've got restaurants. So yeah, that ties in with picnic as well, and the food connection. So one of these people may be more kind of like the structured, practical choice, like an establishment, a building, a restaurant, versus kind of that picnic, which is sort of out in the open. It's very kind of free flowing. It's very sort of spur in the moment. That can represent these two polarities between these two individuals, and the choice you are then faced with, kind of this very, something that is very structured, something that is very known, something you're familiar with, again, that kind of person from the past, versus this kind of stepping outside of that comfort zone, entering into kind of this wilderness, this kind of tapped potential, this new territory, maybe with this new individual that you don't necessarily have any history with. Both of these connections offering you some kind of nourishment, some kind of stability, something that really feeds you on multiple levels. Neither choice being wrong. At both of these places, you're really going to feel filled. You're really going to feel fulfilled by the experience and the exchange there. And it can be even people that what they bring to the table is very different. They could be very different in terms of their lifestyles, in terms of what they do for a living, the goals that they have for the future, the horizons they personally are working toward. That to partner up with either of these individuals would mean, again, kind of certain things close, other things open, neither of which is better or worse. It's all just different. So very interesting kind of elements of balance and duality here as well. So I'm going to get some initials for you, and this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got D, V, B, G, H, X, F, O, L, U, and Y. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box with the video for that. I offer pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled love letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.